I think the world's most deliberative body has been reduced to kabuki theater. There's no uncertainty ever. The only time you get to offer an amendment in this place is if it's sure to fail. Think about that. Senator Schumer won't allow United States senators to offer ideas unless he knows they will fail. And how about, instead of every hour, maybe you show up, or what if we sat in our seats and actually voted on this stuff for 4 or 5 hours? We could get through a lot, but the senator from New York is allergic to work. The Senate is broken.
Indeed it is. And Chuck Schumer broke it on purpose. Joining me now, I have a lot of respect for this man. He's the guy who tried to take him out in an election. He ran against Chuck Schumer in New York for Senate. Joseph Pinion III. Joseph, Chuck Schumer's a really, really bad guy, isn't he?
Well, look, when we ran for U.S. Senate in 2022, I said I'd quit my job for a very clear reason. That if we are tired of the world as it is, we have to stop voting for the architects who built it and broke it. And Chuck Schumer's fingerprints are on everything that has gone wrong in this country that we love. He's been down in D.C. longer than I have been alive, over 40 years and counting. And what he has done is turned the most deliberative body into a smaller version of the food fight we see in the House. And whether he's undermining the prime minister of Israel at a time when Israel needs our help more than ever before, the highest ranking Jewish elected official in the history of this country doing so, by the way, or whether he's just pretending that the migrant crisis is a figment of our imagination, he has taken actions that have left us less safe. He has undermined the sovereignty of this nation, and he has continued to undermine the safety and security of the world as we know it.
What is this guy's deal? You know, a lot of people, everyone watching this show knows Chuck Schumer, Joseph. They all know who he is. They all know they get that, but he's not that well known as far as his background goes and the dirty crap he's pulled. We know he's a Senate Majority Leader now. We know we don't like him. What's his deal? Where'd he come from?
Well, look, he is a man that went straight from a Harvard Law School campus to the New York State Assembly. He went straight from the Assembly to Congress. He went straight from Congress to the United States Senate. He's never worked an honest day in the private sector in his entire life. The last thing that Chuck Schumer did for everyday Americans was what we call the Schumer box. It's that little box that you get in the mail from your credit card company that has to detail exactly how much interest you have to pay. But as a result of him being there for so long, he has passed policies that have left us with private actual balances on those credit cards being the highest it's ever been in recorded history. We're over $1 trillion in personal credit card debt at the highest average interest rate we have seen since 1994 when we started tracking the statistic at over 20%. So these are the realities that we're facing here. And whether it's him writing an obscure letter to a bank in California in the middle of the financial crisis that had nothing to do with the financial crisis, and in part leading to one of the largest bank collapses we have seen until recent, or whether it's just him showing up with a podium to talk about something as obscure as legroom on airlines, he has done very little to help anybody but himself. He has risen in power. He collects more money from Wall Street than anybody else in the United States Senate, all while railing against the private industry that makes America the envy of the world. Up is down, left is right, and as long as Chuck Schumer is talking, you know America's in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Democrats, their big cheese in the House is somebody even lesser known, but somebody very, very capable. I've been warning people about him for some time. Hakeem Jeffries. Nancy Pelosi doesn't just hand power to anybody. The fact that she handed power to Hakeem Jeffries tells me that, as bad as a human being as this guy may be, very, very savvy political operator and probably a proficient fundraiser to take that role, right?
Look, Hakeem Jeffries is there for one reason and one reason only, because he can be trusted by Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer not to rock the boat. And by rocking the boat, we mean actually looking after the interests of the people that call America home. And so he is another individual that has mollified the left during this insane thrust for Americans to be on the side of Hamas in the aftermath of those October 7th attacks. He is the same person that finds common ground and common purpose with those individuals yelling from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, a call for effectively the annihilation of the Jewish people. He is the same person who has decided he's going to spend $40 million targeting those New York House congressional seats that in many ways helped make up the majority in this thin majority that Republicans have shared here in the House this term. So, yeah, he is a problem. He is a threat. Democrats, unlike us sometimes, they are rowing in sync from the top to the bottom. And yet, even though we still have a senator from New Jersey on trial for corruption, gold bars found in the walls of his house connected to an armed robbery. And there's not a single Democrat to be found who seems to think that might be the kind of thing that should lead to somebody being removed from Congress since you ran George Santos out of Congress. I don't know. But it shows you that the principles are not consistent, that the outrage is not actually sincere. They care about power for the sake of power only. And ultimately, in the end, the people who have the least amongst us, those who have that solemn vote to give Democrats, they take it, they abuse it, and they tell us we're not allowed to talk about your troubles until the next election, because right now the only thing that matters is beating Republicans. We've been beating ourselves as a nation for far too long.
It's so true. Bob Menendez with gold bars.
Lots of Cubans just have gold bars associated with armed burglary in the walls of their homes. Just more insanity.